They had to change the costume after the first season, as the original Wonder Woman comic debuted during World War II. The producers of the 1970s television show initially decided to set the show during that same time frame. Diana Prince even had a slightly different costume, with a resplendent eagle in the center. A cheeky nod to America, maybe. But when the series moved to a different chain, everything changed. After the show's first season, ABC no longer wanted to spend money on expensive World War II sets, meaning it ended up removing the series from its schedules. Fortunately for fans, CBS acquired the rights to Mavilla Woman instead and changed the scene of the action to the present. And that wasn't the only change they made. They updated the famous costume, swapping the eagle for the golden stripes. Fortunately, it was also more flattering to Carter. Bracelets have a fascinating history. Wonder Woman's father was actually quite an interesting guy. William Moulton Marston was a psychologist who, for a time, had a three-person relationship with his wife, Elizabeth, and former student Olive Byrne, something quite unusual in 1920. And since Byrne often wore large bracelets, Marston paid him a sort of homage by incorporating jewelry into her Wonder Woman design. But that is not all. Marston also had a particular interest in tying people up. And this also ended up appearing in the Wonder Woman story. In a 1942 interview with the Family Circle program, he said, "Wonder Woman and her sisters, hers Amazons, hers have to wear heavy bracelets to remind them of what happens to a girl when she lets a man conquer her. And if Wonder Woman ever took off the bracelets, she could lose her sanity." All of this was changed for the show, unsurprisingly, where instead the accessories are made from feminum, a metal found in the Amazons' home on Paradise Island. But who knew that jewelry had such a daring backstory? Bathing suits turned out to be a problem. Have you ever admired the outfits that appear in Wonder Woman? Well, you have Don Feld, aka Donald Lee Feld, to thank. He even won an Emmy for his work on the Wonder Woman episode, Ann Slew's 77. But despite all of Feld's design know-how, the one thing he couldn't do was make a Wonder Woman bikini that Carter wouldn't drop. There were many, well, wardrobe failures when it came to bikini. And that would not be acceptable at all on national television. So Feld eventually made Wonder Woman's underwater outfit a skin-tight blue wetsuit. To be honest, it's probably easier to fight crime wearing the suit than wearing a bikini. A doppelganger also wore the suit. Yes, like many Hollywood stars, Linda Carter had a stunt double on set. Jeannie Epper was the stunt double to take on that role, although she had a setback before she got there. Incredibly, Epper claimed that she had lost a job at Bionic Woman for having the wrong size breasts. And even when she auditioned to become Carter's stunt double, she had to show up in a bathing suit. But in the end everything worked out, according to Epper herself. Speaking to NPR in 2005, she reflected, "I think the reason it worked so well is that I could move exactly like Linda moved, and she was different than how I moved. She moved me more like Lindsay Wagner. More athletic and sporty. And I just learned how to become Linda. It's like when an actor adapts to the character." Epper added, "Actually, you have to become an actress. And you have to know how not to look at the camera and yet not look like you're not looking at the camera." She also mentioned that she and Carter had become friends and said, "Linda and I bonded quite early. I'm an observer at first and I want to know how actresses will feel about me." Carter had to keep the weight off of her. Being Wonder Woman may sound like fun, but behind the scenes, Carter needed to be incredibly disciplined. In order for that famous costume to fit episode after episode, she had to maintain a strict diet and exercise program. "I had to stay in shape. Because when you wear a costume like that you can't eat donuts. But I was in my 20s and had the body for that, which I totally took for granted," Carter told the Daily Express in 2010. However, The actress may not have wanted to radically lose weight either. In any case, she doesn't like the way so many female stars are forced to lose so much weight. "I'm so sick of seeing these anorexic actresses," she told Extra in 2007. "These people are crazy. Anywhere else in the country besides New York and Los Angeles, they would be in a hospital." Carter now promotes good exercise and healthy eating. In 2018, she told Energy Times magazine, "I eat what I want. I just reduced the portion size. It's all about portion control, portion control, portion control. Now I have a better relationship with food, but I am struggling with my weight." There was a cowgirl variant of the costume. One of Linda Carter's favorite episodes of Wonder Woman is The Bushwhackers from the first season. Why? Well, she had none other than Roy Rogers. And that cameo of the Western legend moved the protagonist of the program. "Working with Roy was exciting because he was a huge fan. And I still have the script that he signed for me," Carter told the Daily Express in 2010. "But there's something else you need to know about that installment of the show. It included an outfit from the show. Wonder Woman, much more modest and cowboy style. That set was spectacular in itself, by the way. But why was the change made in the first place? Perhaps it was because the normal costume does not exactly lend itself to riding." It is also rumored that Rogers, with his conservative views, insisted that his co-star show less skin. The outfit is popular with drag queens. When Carter sat down to chat with Out magazine in 2012, she was asked, "Do you remember the first time she saw a drag queen dressed as Wonder Woman?" And the star recalled, "I remember the first time my son saw one. He was with me once when I was singing in San Francisco, and a great drag queen came to the show dressed to the nines. She looked great. My son's reaction was priceless and we loved it," Carter continued. "I'll say some of the funniest I've seen are Wonder Woman's drag queens with big bellies and tons of chest hair. Those are the best, and I have had many opportunities to see that image." Carter did stunts with the costume. Turns out Carter was a secret daredevil when she made Wonder Woman. And here is an example of it. In a scene where Diana was supposed to hang from a helicopter. Epper naturally took it to be her signal to step forward. But when it became obvious on camera that the doppelganger was a doppelganger, Carter decided to do it all herself. Producers were reportedly livid. And that happened despite the fact that Carter had a brush with disaster during her first stunt scene on the set of Wonder Woman. In 1976, she told Johnny Carson that, in one particular scene, she had been tasked with jumping with cables over a car. However, she misjudged the jump and ended up crashing into the vehicle. "Oh. You have to remember that this was a time when they hardly let people know there were doubles," Epper recalled in his 2005 Nepalese Rupees interview. "For many, many, many years, all the actors and actresses said they did their own stunt work." Of course, in Carter's case, that was partially true. The spinning effect was complicated. What is one of the most important abilities of a superhero? Well, flying and possessing incredible speed are pretty cool. But being able to easily change from your civilian clothes to your crime-fighting outfit is important too. Still, Wonder Woman couldn't just sneak into a phone booth like Superman. So the producers needed another trick. And they finally came up with the solution. Diana would just spin around and in an instant she would be there in her satin stockings as her alter ego. Making this move look good on camera was easier said than done. The slow motion effect used during the show's first few episodes proved too complex and expensive to continue for long. So the Flash was born. Off-screen, of course, Carter was actually donning her outfit as usual. You should also know that the lapse trick was actually Carter's idea. In 2005, she told Entertainment Weekly that while the producers were working on different plans for the costume change scenes, she came up with something better. I was a dancer, so I said, I can do a pirouette or a spin. They added the explosion later, the star explained. Colors are important. Carter isn't the only Wonder Woman to grace the screen, of course, though some consider her the best of it. In recent years, Israeli actress Gal Gadot has also donned the famous headband in the 2017 superhero movie Wonder Woman and its sequel Wonder Woman 1984 from 2020. But fans know that Gadot's costume is a little less colorful than Carter's. And the 70s TV star apparently wasn't impressed by the change. In a 2014 interview with Nerdist, Carter said, "One thing is missing from that great photograph that Warner Brothers published of Gal Gadot. I mean, it looks great in the costume, but where are the colors? Where's the red, white, and blue?" And the interviewer agreed with her, though Carter added, "I'm sure he'll do great. She is adorable." In the end, Carter ended up completely convinced. Speaking during a 2020 DC fandom event, she explained, "When my daughter first saw Gal as Wonder Woman, she said, 'Mom, I finally get it. I finally understand why everyone idolizes you. I finally understand what Wonder Woman means to everyone. And that's my daughter. That is my flesh and blood. So thanks, Gal. Thank you, director Patty Jenkins." Carter hated being a pin-up girl. There was no denying that many viewers were drawn to Carter as Wonder Woman. But the actress was not happy that her attractive appearance was the main focus of attention. In 1980, she told Us Weekly, "She never wanted to be a sex object to anyone but my husband. I never thought a photo of my body would be posted in the men's room," added Carter. "I hate that men look at me and think what they think. And I know what they think. They write to me and tell me." Worse still, Carter once found a peephole in her dressing room. Fortunately, the man responsible for her disgusting invasion of privacy was fired from her. And in 2018, Carter recalled the sexual harassment she had faced as a television star. Speaking in the wake of the #MeToo movement, she revealed to the Daily Beast, "I defended myself against my share of unwanted attention and I've been scared. But if a man tried something, I'd say, 'Are you kidding me? We were women of women's liberation, burn the bra. We were not going to accept any shit from the people.'" Diana had to wear a helmet. Wonder Woman's closet also contained a stunt suit that was worn if Diana was riding a motorcycle. This outfit was accompanied by a helmet and goggles. Despite the fact that Diana was practically indestructible. Strange, don't you think? But there was good reason for the use of that safety gear. The kids were watching, you see. And her heroine needed to lead by example. Child safety groups have long campaigned for movie and television characters to wear protective clothing. That way, the message is sent to children that they should do the same. And Diana was cautious even when she was on 4 wheels instead of 2. Yes, she also had a helmet on while she skated, as well as a pair of elbow pads for her arms. Carter kept some of the costumes. If you had played one of the most iconic heroines in television history, you would like to take home some of her clothes, wouldn't you? Well, at least that's what Carter did. In 2016, he told Fox News, "I happen to have one of the 1940s era costumes from season 1, and one from the updated version. They're falling apart in a closet somewhere." And when the 2017 movie Wonder Woman hit theaters, Carter even suggested that Gadot should follow her lead. But it's still possible for the actress to pull one of hers from her own mementos from that closet. When asked by an interviewer for the Baltimore Sun if her own Wonder Woman outfit shouldn't go to a museum, Carter replied, "If you help me restore one of them, I'll certainly let you show it off." Not only that, but Carter also took home some of her Wonder Woman accessories from hers. In 2020, she announced on Instagram, "For many years, Wonder Woman fans have asked, do you still have the bracelets? The answer is yes. I have the bracelets, and wearing them still makes me feel like one absolute genius." The bracelets had pyrotechnics inside. Every time Wonder Woman needed to block a bullet, special effects had to be used on the screen. And since this was before the days of computer-generated imagery, CGI, the filmmakers had to turn to real-life technical wizardry. Inside the stars of Diana's bracelets were small pyrotechnic objects with connecting cables attached. So when sparks were needed to fly, she simply pushed a button. However, this method was not without its flaws. Keeping a remote out of sight is quite tricky to begin with. Meaning viewers of the show with the sharpest eagle eyes may have seen the device hidden in the palm of Carter's hand. And while the effect certainly looked astonishing, it was also apparent that it was quite risky to achieve. Carter thinks the costume is not sexual. When the United Nations appointed Wonder Woman an honorary ambassador in 2016, some people didn't like it. And no, it wasn't just because the role would be better played by a real woman, although that was one of the complaints raised. Apparently, the character was also deemed too sexual to be a role model. Carter was enraged at this claim, telling Entertainment Weekly the following year, "All this about the costumes. Oh, it's exploitative and blah blah blah. Give me a break. You can't say the sock in the pants Superman's was not exploitative." Then, after telling critics to get over it, Carter continued, "That's a woman's body. We all have it. We've always been like this, but we're also any other shape, color, and size. It's not ours. The problem, how we are, is yours. I am a woman. This is how I look. I am smart. I am this and I am that too. I don't understand the threat that women pose." And Carter has also championed other costume-wearing actors. When James Cameron criticized Gal Gadot's version of the character for wearing a heavier and more tight outfit, the actress took to social media to send her own rather disgruntled message to the director of Avatar. Speaking directly to Cameron, Carter wrote emphatically on Facebook, "You may not understand the character. I certainly do. Your bully taunts of a brilliant director, Patty Jenkins, are misguided. This movie, Wonder Woman, hit the mark. Gal Gadot was great. I know, Mr. Cameron, because I've played this character for over 40 years. He hurt us and he wasn't with us.